Hello everyone, welcome back to our online classes. My name is Andelija, and in this video we will take a look of some most beautiful chess moves played by the great players. In the first example, position was played by Frank Marshall, black pieces. Frank Marshall was one of the greatest players at the time when Lasker and Capablanca was playing. He was facing them. He was a USA player, and he was also the champion of USA for quite a long time. Probably you know about Marshall attack opening he created. This is the response on the Ruy Lopez. Nice approach for black to take initiative after the opening. In this game, Marshall was black, and he really played a brilliant move here for black. Let's try to find it. He played the move queen to g3. Imagine putting queen under threefold attack, especially under attack from the pawns. So both of white pawns can capture the queen, but basically white is lost after this move because black is threatening mate queen h2 in 1. In case that white captures black queen with h pawn, white would receive mate in 1. In case another pawn captures the queen, mate will be in 2 moves, knight e2 check, king h1. The rook captures f1. In case that queen captures the queen, it's also very simple for black just to give check, king h1, knight takes g3, again under the double pin king and rook. White cannot take back the knight. King moves back, black can captures the rook on f1. Once white takes back the black rook after moving the knight, this is clearly piece up in the endgame, and black is completely winning here. Next position we have Paul Morphy with white pieces. Paul Morphy, one of also the genius mind players at the time before William Steinitz became the world champion. Paul Morphy and Adolf Anderssen. They were the two best players at that time. Unfortunately, Paul Morphy didn't play chess for a very long time, but still he left really remarkable games behind him, and King's Gambit, Evans Gambit, favorite opening, which he really developed when he was playing at that time. The last move of black was d5, discover attack towards the white queen. And here comes rook e8 check, sacrifice of the rook. Black doesn't have many options. King captures the rook, queen takes c8 check, king e7, and now again one more very nice sacrifice. Knight captures d5 check. Thanks to this pin, pawn cannot take because black will lose the queen. Bishop defends the knight, so queen also cannot capture. After the only move with king, king d6, queen c7 is mate, mate in 1. White can also give queen e6, it will be mate as well, but Paul Morphy finished game with queen c7. Next position we see as played by Nezmeshdinov, by black. Nezmeshdinov, Rashid, was one of also very great player from the Soviet Union. Extremely powerful tactical player. Really a lot of sacrifice. Basically, when people are discussing about sacrifices and things, they usually remember and mention Mikhail Tal, the world champion, who used to sacrifice. But Rashid Nezmeshdinov also has very lovely games and really stunning sacrifices he made. This is one of his games where he sacrificed the queen in order to give checkmate. Of course, black is much better here because he has huge attack, but it's very nice to finish the game with some great sacrifice. Queen captures h2 check. White doesn't have any option except to capture the queen. And then here it comes, one more sacrifice, knight g3, discover check. And white is lost. Even if he captures the knight, he would receive mate with the pawn, f4. Or in case if he moves king back to g1, mate will be here, rook h1. Next position is from the game that Bobby Fischer, former world champion, played, my favorite player ever. And here we can see that white, yes, is having attack, but still black is having a dangerous pass pawn who are about to promote, and black offered the trade of the queens. In case that white exchange queens or move queen away, it will be hopeless for white, so white needs to react and to do something here. Can you see the sacrifice of the white, which is going to finish the game? I hope you do. Fischer play queen h7, sacrifice of the queen once again. King captures, no other move, and pawn takes pawn, double check. Black is lost, black has to resign because whatever he plays, it's mate in one. In case that black captures the pawn, bishop e4 would be mate in one. In case that king moves away back to g8, mate in one is rook h8. When we talk about Bobby Fischer, I cannot not to show one of his also famous game and famous sacrifices, which actually pull out black king toward the center, which is always a pleasure to do. This was not shortly after the opening when Bobby played against, game was played against Samuel Reshevsky, and Fischer sacrificed bishop f7. Sacrifice of the bishop to pull out the black king. Black could move king to h8 or capture with a rook on f7, but in both cases, black will lose the queen. In case the rook captures, knight e6, thanks to the pin and thanks to this not very nicely placed knight on corner of the board, black queen will be trapped. For that reason, black capture with the king, and now it comes. One more sacrifice, knight e6, trap the black queen, again black is forced to capture with the king. After king capture the knight, queen d5 check, king goes to f5, g4. King is forced to capture, rook g1 check, and black is lost here. Black resigned. Whatever black plays, he will be mate in next two moves. For in case if he goes to h3, he will be checkmated by queen g2. In case that he moved to h5, again queen g2 will be forced mate in next one because black cannot simply defend three different checkmates that white is threatening in this moment. For that reason, black resigned the game. Next example we see was one of also very famous game by Adolf Anderssen. As I mentioned before from the Paul Morphy example, Adolf Anderssen and Paul Morphy was one of the great players really before William Steinitz became the world champion. They were kind of unofficial best players in the world. As you can see here, white is really lack of material. He's down 2 rooks and piece. But of course, when king is under attack, when you are giving checkmate, this material is not counted. Here it comes. Again, one more sacrifice of the queen. Queen f6 check. Black king cannot move. Black has to take with a knight, and then just 3 pieces cooperating together. Bishop e7 is mate to black king. When we talk about Adolf Anderssen, maybe one of the really most beautiful sacrifices of him was in the game Evans Gambit. Last move of black was queen captures the knight on f3, and black is threatening mate in 1 on g2. So white doesn't have time now to play anything except to give checkmate to black. Here it comes, rook takes e7 check. In the game, black play king d8. Let's take a look what would happen if black captures the rook. It will come very quickly mate. Again, we will have queen sacrifice, queen d7 check. In case that king moves, it will be mate in 1, queen e7. If king captures the queen, mate will come. Bishop f5, double check. King goes to c6 and bishop d7 mate. For that reason, black tried to fight more and move king back to d8. But comes again the sacrifice. Rook captures d7, check. In case that king captures, king will be under the pin, and any discovered check with bishop will win black queen, and black will be lost. Black tried to fight with king c8. Seems like there is not so many checks. Here it comes, rook d8. One more, third time in a row, sacrifice of the rook. If black captures with the king, it will be discovered. check with bishop, and black will lose the queen. In case that black captures with the rook, queen will not be protected anymore, so white will capture black queen. In case that knight captures, which is the only remaining move, now it comes again to the queen sacrifice, magnificent sacrifice, queen d7 check. In this case, black has to capture, and mate will come in 2 moves. Bishop f5, double discover check, king c6, and bishop d7 mate. Basically, in chess, it's a nice feeling to win the game anyhow, but when you win the game with some specific way, like some brilliant sacrifice, then it gives you some really additional pleasure, because you have feeling like you want to really to share this with whole world, your moves. For those who had this example in their chess practice, they know what I'm talking about. For those who did not have yet, I really hope that you will get the chance to sacrifice something and to give some mate in the middle of the board or anyhow, and you will realize how much pleasure and how much happiness it can bring to you. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you soon.